she doesn't have to wash the baby's cheeks. The baby can sit in the poop. Now, that wouldn't be the best outcome. Hey, what is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bree with an E. I'm happy to be back in my comfy zone. I spend every waking second, an hour of the week in this bed. But for today's video, we are going to be revisiting a more popular video on my channel, and that is reacting to / reading through Reddit's subreddit Am I the A-hole story. But we're not just going to be reacting to and reading through just any Reddit story. Recently, I was watching one of my favorite kind of like get-together marriage movies. It's called Jumping the Broom. Boy meets girl, girl falls in love with boy, they get engaged, but they have to meet each other's families. The mother of the son / mother-in-law to be doesn't like the wife to be / daughter-in-law to be. And every time I watch this movie, I'm like always bracing for when I get married, which will be probably in 2080 because who's stepping up? But I'm like thinking of like when I'm gonna get married and the fact that I'm gonna have to meet the in-laws. We may not get along. Those are the stories we're gonna be reading through and reacting to today. The in-laws. The in-laws from hell. Before we get into the video though, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and also make sure to subscribe. I post every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, feel free to interact, and like let's start a conversation in the comment section, even if you don't like what I have to say. If you think I'm annoying, tell me. You know what I'm saying? The comment section is yours. So without further ado though, let's get into the video. Am I the a-hole for canceling my son's birthday party because my mother-in-law left poop on my toothbrush? We're already starting off wild. My mother-in-law watches my 3 kids. They are age 5, 3, and 7 months. My mother-in-law usually watches them and drops them off from school. The kids are battling a stomach virus, so everyone was home on Monday. The little one had a poop explosion, so my mother-in-law washed her butts in our bathroom sink. However, she did not clean up after there was poop all around the sink, on the toothpaste, on the toothbrushes, and the little cups that the kids use when brushing their teeth. I have pictures if you guys really want to see. We don't want to see. This has happened before, but it's the first time we said anything. My wife called her mom and told her to be more careful because it's absolutely disgusting and gross. My wife is Hispanic, so her tone can definitely be aggressive. Is he stereotyping his wife? Like, imagine saying,
yeah, my wife is black, so she's always mad and angry and like aggressive.
That's a little bit ignorant to say. My wife is Hispanic, so her tone can definitely be aggressive, especially to a gringo like myself, but her mom seemed to understand the frustration. However, once her sisters, both in their 30s and single for good reason, this person is literally clowning, like, what is happening? Once her sisters caught wind that my wife belittled their mother, all hell broke loose. The sisters began defending the mother, calling out how dirty / messy her house is, calling my wife fat, and basically just saying how lucky we are to have the mother-in-law in our life, and it's no big deal. In fact, we're the a-holes for being upset about this. I guess the sisters got to my mother-in-law because then mother-in-law came back and started parroting the same talking points about how messy our house is, how ungrateful my wife is, and how my mother-in-law cleans our house and cooks for the kids all of the time. My 5-year-old son was also at her house this weekend and had an accident where he Hershey squirted on the bed because he's sick. Why do all your kids literally have terrible bowel movements? Like, why are all of their bowel movements uncontrollable? What are y'all feeding them? Maybe you should switch to milk. Maybe you should switch something in their diet. Something's not right here. So that was also thrown in our face multiple times. I think that's valid. They also referred to watching our kids as favors, which is weird because they always ask to take them. My mother-in-law says she won't ever come over again to watch the kids. She no-showed today, so I had to call out today to watch the baby, which is fine. However, I don't like how the mother-in-law is affecting my job and career with her pettiness, as I had some important stuff scheduled today. Keep in mind, we pay her $300 cash a week to watch the kids. Now I'm gonna pay about $150 more per month for someone to watch the kids, which is no big deal really. However, my son's birthday is tomorrow. They had a big old party planned at my mother-in-law's for Saturday. However, I have told everyone that we will not be attending the party and that we have banned her family from seeing, giving gifts, or even speaking to the kids for the time being. Am I the a-hole for canceling my son's party and not allowing my wife's family to celebrate his birthday on Saturday? We're starting off strong. There are a lot of elements to this story. This person is not the a-hole in this story. It seems as though the mother-in-law is very willing on her own to watch the kids, and it's not being implied that she's being forced to. She's even being thrown $300 a week to do so, to show their appreciation. So I'm not really seeing the family taking advantage of the grandma washing the baby's butt in the bathroom sink. You could have did it in the tub. That also being said, why was the poop splatter everywhere? Why was it on the sink? Why was it on the toothbrushes and toothpaste? She could have cleaned it up. Like, that all being said though, it's weird to like ban the family from coming to the party and even giving them gifts when you're dealing with speaking to your parents about something they may not want to hear and that they did something wrong. You have to go soft and tender because parents do have a little bit of soft egos. I'm not coming from my parents, I'm not at all. But anytime I have a disagreement, feelings may get hurt. She just should have been more mature. I had to talk with her and said, could you please maybe clean up after you wash our baby's cheeks, which she doesn't have to wash the baby's cheeks. The baby can sit in the poop. Now, that wouldn't be the best outcome. Still, if you make a mess, you clean it up. You know what I'm saying? You clean it up. Am I the a-hole for pitching a business idea while at my father-in-law's visitation? Visitation means funeral, guys. Last month, my father-in-law died of natural causes. He was a pretty healthy and happy man who had lived a full life but just died in his sleep one night. My wife and I helped plan the funeral and the visitation. My wife has a big family and my father-in-law has many friends from his years as a successful entrepreneur. My wife grew up pretty rich, though she doesn't like to talk about it. I grew up in a working class, blue-collar household and got a business degree. First in my family to go to college. For the past several months, I've been working on a new business idea that I think will change the world. I don't want to reveal too much, but let's just say that breakfast will never be the same again. This is corny and cheesy. At the visitation, several of my father-in-law's formal business associates showed up to pay their respects. Some of these guys have really deep pockets, and I couldn't help but wonder when I would see this many millionaires in one place again. It was an opportunity I simply couldn't pass up. I pitched my idea to them, and some of them seemed really interested. I was very pleased with myself. I should note my wife was really close to her dad, and his death hit her really hard. She expected that he would eventually die, but she was in denial about how long her dad had to live. He was in his 90s, so it was obvious he would die soon. Anyway, I walked over to her and she was tearfully talking to some of her cousins. I pulled her aside with a big smile on my face and eagerly told her that some of her dad's friends loved my business idea and that we could soon be rolling in dough. Not the time, not the place. She seemed hurt and angry and told me that this was really hard for her. Her dad had just died and all I could talk about was business. I was surprised that she reacted this way and she has been very distant since. I'm starting to really become annoyed with her and her holier-than-thou attitude and really wish she could just be happy for me, especially because her father was a successful businessman himself. I want my old wife back and don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Let me just adjust myself real quick. Yes, you are. This is like so unbelievably you are the a-hole that it makes it seem like this guy is clowning us. He's like trolling. He's trolling. He has to be trolling. He seems a little bit narcissistic in the way he talks about his self and his ideas, and they're so grand. It's world changing. I don't want to talk about it. If anything that's life changing or world changing has to do with breakfast, I don't know how groundbreaking that is. I'm not sure. But no, let's start with the obvious fact that her father just died. Your father-in-law, your wife's dad just died. This is a very traumatizing period for her. She's mourning his loss. You're literally at his funeral, or you're supposed to grieve and process things. Not talk about business ventures. Like, what is happening exactly? And then, okay, so they eat up his idea a little bit. I don't know if they ate it up as much as he let on that they did. And he comes up to her and he's like, oh my gosh, babe, I have this huge business opportunity for us. Even though your dad just died, I know, but put that on hold for just a second. No, don't put that on hold for just a second. Don't do this at a funeral. And maybe don't get mad at your wife and say you want your old wife back. Hey, what? Just quickly gracing through some comments here. One user says, it was an opportunity I simply couldn't pass up. End quoting OP. You made her father's visitation all about you. You're the a-hole. Another user says, you're the a-hole and it's sickening how much you lack empathy. Truly. It's very concerning, actually. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law we weren't going to cater to her just because she is pregnant? My sister-in-law is 6 months pregnant and is high risk. Because of this, she's unable to work, so she couldn't keep her apartment. The father isn't in the picture, so she moved in with us. Her and I have never had the best relationship, but I put that aside because my husband wanted to help her. We are not charging her rent or anything, as she has very little money. We are buying all the groceries, and I do a lot of the cooking. Here is where the issue is. Okay, spill it, babe, spill it. We live a pretty healthy lifestyle, and I don't like a lot of of junk food in the house. Good for them, good for them. I don't like a lot of junk food in the house as we want the kids to have healthier options, so I don't buy a ton. We aren't super strict or anything, but we will have a thing of ice cream for a week, and then next trip we might get a box of brownie mix or a bag of candy. Sister-in-law has been requesting candy, ice cream, chips, pizza rolls, basically all junk food constantly because she has cravings. Now we aren't exactly rich, so I don't really want to be spending money on food that no one but her would eat. And I don't want to be dealing with the kids constantly asking why Nan can have ice cream for breakfast or pizza rolls for dinner. She's also been asking me to cook different meals as certain things make her not feel well. I totally get the nausea, but making meals that both of my kids will eat without complaint is hard enough. Last night she complained again that I don't keep anything she can eat in the house, didn't want any of the food I made, and later when we didn't have ice cream, she asked me if I could go get her some from the store or DQ. I got a little short with her and flat out told her that we are fine helping her, but we aren't her kid's father and we aren't just going to cater to her because she is knocked up. She cried. Husband feels stuck in the middle. Am I the a-hole? So this one is a bit tricky. I'm gonna give my thoughts on some of the things she said throughout the post and then we'll give our judgment. Okay, so already the story starts off with you telling us, sister-in-law is pregnant, she's 6 months pregnant. She's gonna have cravings, she's gonna have those kind of hormonal things going on that make her a little bit more moody. It's also noted that OP doesn't really like the sister-in-law. The only reason she's even in their house is because the husband wanted to help her out. And it's tricky because they're not charging her rent or anything because she doesn't have money to exactly be spending. The baby's father isn't in the picture and she can't exactly work at the moment because like they said, she is at high risk. Due to the fact that they're willing to take her in and they're not charging her anything and they're even buying her groceries, I'd say definitely she's not the a-hole in the story, but she can be just a little bit more sensitive. And I'm not saying that the sister-in-law can't be more compliable and maybe eat some of the food that's cooked at the house instead of requesting all of these snacks. But at the same time, she is pregnant. She does have cravings. I'm not saying that you need to fulfill every single one of her cravings. Allow her to have some snacks, more snacks than usual. She's clearly been pregnant before and she's had, those cravings, pregnancy cravings especially. She can be just a little bit more sensitive to her situation. And then saying that she got knocked up at the end, I just think that was really kind of cruel to say about your sister-in-law that she got knocked up. That's something you usually say when a person is just sleeping around and oops, I got knocked up, I don't know who the baby daddy is. It's kind of insulting to say that. So no, she's not the a-hole in this story, but she can be more sensitive to the situation. And the sister-in-law needs to stop making all these requests for snacks, these alternative meals, and all these grocery store runs. So I think y'all just need to have a conversation. Sit down and talk about it, Don't ask the internet. I mean, I'm answering for you. Alright, you guys, I know I keep doing only 3 stories each time, but the stories I end up reading are long and then have to give my opinion on them, and so I don't want this video to be super long to edit. So if you would like for me to start doing more stories in this, let me know. I'm gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, reading through some of these monster in-law situations. Let me know in the comment section below how you thought about each story. Did you have a differing opinion from mine? Just let me know. But yes, thank you so much if you made it to this point in the video. I love you. You literally should subscribe. Do it now, do it. But now with all of that being said, guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.